If you keep thinking, I want to sell a digital product, but I don't know what anyone would actually pay me for, I want you to stay with me because the thing you're looking for is probably not hiding in a new niche, a new certification, or another 3-hour scroll through what everyone else is selling. It's probably hiding in the experience you keep dismissing because it feels too normal to count. You may already have a $27 digital product sitting inside your head. The reason you can't see it is because the most valuable things you know feel so obvious to you, you've stopped counting them as valuable. And that blind spot might be exactly why you've been stuck for months or maybe even years thinking, I'd love to start a digital product business, but I don't have anything people would pay for. By the end of this video, I want you to look at your career, your life experience, and even your mistakes differently because the product may not be missing. You may just be standing too close to it. Now, if we haven't met yet, I'm Kristen. I'm a corporate marketing director with 30 years of experience, and I'm building a real second income with digital products on nights and weekends. And I make videos for adults over 40 who want to turn what they already know into simple digital products without quitting their jobs, becoming full-time influencers, or pretending they want to be spending their golden years lip-syncing into a phone in the Target parking lot. If you're building slowly and practically around a real life, hit subscribe. I make videos that help you choose the idea, finish the product, and build a business that doesn't require you to burn your life down to start. Now let's talk about the thing you think you don't have, because I think you do. One of the most common comments that I get on this channel sounds something like this. Kristen, love your videos, but I just don't think I have anything people would actually pay for. And every time I read that, I want to reach through the screen, gently grab them by the shoulders and say, I am going to need you to stop lying to yourself. Lovingly, of course. I don't think they're wrong because I'm trying to be encouraging. I think they're wrong because I've seen this pattern so many times. The people who are convinced they have nothing to sell are often the people sitting on the most useful, practical, hard-earned knowledge. They've solved the problems, they've built the systems, they've trained people, they've navigated messy seasons, and they've figured things out the hard way. But because they've lived it, they discount it. That's the problem. Not lack of experience, not lack of ideas, and not lack of value. The problem is something I want to call expertise blindness. And once you understand it, I think you're going to start seeing little product ideas everywhere, which is exciting and slightly annoying because once you see them, you can't unsee them. Expertise blindness is what happens when you've done something for so long that it stops feeling impressive. It becomes automatic. It becomes obvious. It becomes just the way I do things. And because it feels obvious to you, you assume it must be obvious to everyone else. It's not. Think about the last time someone at work asked you for help with something that you consider basic. Maybe they asked you to look over an email, organize a project, fix a spreadsheet for them, or figure out what to say in a difficult conversation. You answered in 5 minutes because you recognize the pattern. You know how to do it. Your 5 minutes of obvious was their entire afternoon of struggle. And that gap is where your digital product lives. In the gap between what feels simple to you and what feels hard to someone else. So let me give you an example. Imagine someone who spent 20 years working in HR. To her, looking at a resume and knowing whether someone should get an interview is automatic, right? She's seen thousands of resumes, so she knows what gets skipped and what gets noticed and what makes someone look current and qualified. Now, imagine a 52-year-old professional who just got laid off after 18 years at the same company and hasn't updated their resume since 2006. His last version may still have a Hotmail address on it and the phrase proficient in Microsoft Office, which respectfully is now the resume equivalent of saying you own shoes. He has no idea what hiring managers are actually looking for today. And that HR professional could create a $27 guide called What HR Actually Looks For in a Resume Over 40. That's specific. That's useful. That solves a real problem for a real person, and it does not require her to become an influencer or build a giant audience. It requires her to package one slice of what she already knows in a way that helps one specific person move forward. That's the whole model. So the better question is not, do I have anything to sell? The better question is, where am I discounting something someone else would be thrilled to learn? Now let's look at the 3 places your $27 product might be hiding. The first place is your career. And I don't mean your job title. Your job title is usually too broad to be useful. project manager, teacher, realtor, HR manager, marketing director, tells me the room you've been standing in. It doesn't tell me the tiny, valuable thing you know how to do inside that room. The product is usually hiding in the shortcut, the system, or the mistake that you stopped making after year 3 that everyone else is still making in year 1. So ask yourself, what do people at work come to me for? Not what's on my job description. What do people pull me aside to ask about? What do junior colleagues need explained to them? What does your manager trust you to handle because they know you'll make it make sense? That informal expertise is often more sellable than your official expertise because official expertise can usually be found in a manual somewhere. Informal expertise is the stuff people learn from someone who has actually been there. Now, the second place that your product may be hiding is your life experience. This is the category people dismiss the fastest, which is wild to me because life experience often solves the problems people feel most urgently. Career transitions, health challenges, divorce, raising kids while working, caring for aging parents, starting over financially, downsizing a home, or moving after 50 all come with questions people desperately want answered by someone a few steps ahead of them. So before anyone gets nervous, no, I'm not saying you need to become a therapist, a lawyer, a doctor, or a certified expert in something you're not qualified to teach. We're not doing I survived one hard thing, so now I'm the internet's leading authority on the human condition. That's not the move here. What I'm saying is, if you walk through something, you figured out a practical path, and you learned what helped, and you can help someone a few steps behind you feel less lost, that has value. You don't have to help everyone. You can help one specific person with one specific part of their journey. Not how to rebuild your entire life, that's too big. Not everything I know about divorce, careers, money, parenting, and inner peace. Please don't make that product. Nobody has the emotional stamina for that. But the first 10 questions to ask before downsizing after 50, that's a product. The working daughter's checklist for organizing caregiver documents, that's a product. What to do the first weekend after you get laid off over 40, that's a product. Specific wins, specific person, specific moment. Now, the third place that your product may be hiding is in your mistakes. And this is probably the most underrated category because most of us want to bury our mistakes in a mental file cabinet labeled never speak of this again. But mistakes create maps, and people pay for maps that help them avoid expensive wrong turns. So ask yourself, what's the most expensive mistake I've made in money, time, energy, or emotional cost? What do I know how to avoid now? What warning signs do I recognize now that I completely missed the first time? That could become a product called What I Wish I Knew Before Whatever. What I Wish I Knew Before Hiring My First Contractor. Moving my parent into assisted living. Leaving my corporate job. Building a website I wasn't ready to use. That last one may or may not be personally offensive to some of us. The point is, mistakes are not just embarrassing chapters. Sometimes they're the exact bridge that someone else is willing to pay to cross safely. So let me make this more concrete because this is where people say, yeah, Kristen, I see how that works for other people, but my stuff is different. Of course it is. Everyone thinks their stuff is different. That's one of the brain's favorite little tricks for keeping us safely stuck where we are. So think about the woman who spent 15 years managing remote teams before remote work was normal. To her, it was just another Tuesday. She knew how to keep people accountable without hovering, run meetings that didn't make everyone question their will to live, and help people feel connected when nobody was in the same room. Now, a small business owner managing remote employees for the first time would absolutely pay for that. Or think about a man who went through a late life divorce and came out on the other side financially stable because he asked better questions, he stayed organized, and he avoided decisions he would have regretted later. He should not sell legal advice if he's not a lawyer, but he could create a practical guide called Questions I Wish I Had Asked During My Divorce at 48. Yes, that kind of product helps someone walk into professional conversations more prepared. Or think about a woman who spent 3 years caring for her mother with dementia while working full-time. She figured out the paperwork, the appointments, family conversations, and systems that kept things from falling completely apart. To someone who just got that diagnosis in their family and is sitting at the kitchen table with a folder full of paperwork and no idea what happens next, that knowledge isn't just survival, it's relief, it's direction. It's somebody saying, start here. And start here is one of the most valuable things you can sell to an overwhelmed person. None of these people need to be famous. They need to package one specific slice of hard-earned knowledge for one specific person who is actively looking for help. That's the part I want you to take seriously. The thing that feels too small to you may be the exact thing someone else needs first. So here's a simple test that you can run right now. Just finish this sentence. I can't believe people don't know that what? That sentence is a trapdoor in a good way, because whatever comes after it is probably something you've stopped seeing as valuable. I can't believe people don't know this is why their resume is getting ignored. I can't believe people don't know this is the easiest way to organize paperwork before a parent's doctor appointment. I can't believe people don't know this is what actually matters when choosing their first digital product. There it is. That little flare of, wait, people don't know this? Is often the product. So write down 10 answers. Don't edit them. Don't cross them out because they sound too simple. Just write them down. Then ask 3 questions. First, who specifically is struggling with this right now? And don't just say people. People's too vague. A 52-year-old updating a resume after a layoff. A daughter managing a parent's care for the first time. A small business owner hiring their first remote employee. A woman over 40 trying to make her first digital product without becoming an influencer. Specific people buy specific help. Second, what does it cost them if they don't figure this out? Does it cost them time, money, confidence, opportunities, stress, embarrassment, or another 3 months of dealing with the same idea and calling it research? The cost matters because people don't buy information just because it exists. They buy relief from a problem they can feel. All right, and then third, where are people already looking for a version of this answer? Are they searching YouTube? Are they asking in Facebook groups? Are they buying books, templates, checklists, guides, workshops, or coaching around it? You don't need to invent demand from scratch. In fact, please don't try to do that. You want evidence that people already care. If a real person has a real problem, the problem has a real cost, and people are already looking for help, you may be sitting on something worth packaging. And when your brain says, but it's so simple, remember this. That's why it might work. A $27 product does not need to contain your entire life's wisdom. It needs to help one person take one useful step, all right? Now, here's why I'm making this video right now. I have been doing this exercise with people one-on-one and in small groups, and every time we dig into someone's experience, we find something. Not always the first idea they bring, usually not actually, because the first idea is often too broad or too polished or too borrowed from what they think they should sell or too shaped by what they saw someone else selling. The good idea is usually underneath all that. It's the thing they almost didn't mention because they assumed it was too obvious. That's the part I love pulling out. So in a few weeks, I am running a live 2-hour workshop called Someone Will Pay for That. And in that workshop, we are going to do exactly what I described today, but live and interactively. I'm going to walk you through how to look at your career, life experience, and mistakes and start pulling out product ideas that are specific enough to actually sell. I'm opening a waitlist for people who want first access and early bird pricing when registration opens. The link is down in the description. Now, if today's video made you think of something that you've been brushing off, or if you felt that little flicker of, oh no, maybe I do know something, get on the wait list. Not because you need another idea, but because you may need someone to help you see the value in the idea that's been sitting there all along. So the next time your brain tells you, I don't have anything people would pay for, challenge that with evidence. Look at what people ask you for. Look at what you've lived through. Look at what you've learned the hard way. Look at the things that feel obvious to you, but would save someone else time, stress, money, or confusion. That's where your first product may be hiding. And if you want help finding it, the waitlist for Someone Will Pay for That is linked down below. If this helps, share it with someone who keeps saying, I don't have anything to sell, because there's a very good chance they're wrong. And if you want to keep going, watch this video next, where I show you how to choose a first digital product idea that you can actually finish. All right, here's to your success, and I'll see you next week.